Welcome back to Sky Garden 2026, and thank you for joining me on another week of growth, progress, and learning in my urban balcony garden. What started as a collection of containers, soil, and young seedlings steadily transformed into a thriving food-producing garden high above the city. Every week brings new challenges, new successes, and new opportunities to learn more about growing fresh vegetables in a limited space. This week marks an important turning point in the season. The garden is no longer focusing solely on establishing roots and producing foliage. Many of the plants are beginning to transition into active production. Flowers are appearing throughout the tomato and pepper plants. Early fruits are starting to develop, and the lettuce has grown into beautiful harvest-ready heads that are filling their containers with vibrant color and healthy growth. As the plants continue to mature, proper nutrition becomes increasingly important. Growing vegetables in a container requires a little extra attention because the plants depend entirely on the nutrients available in the bucket. Unlike traditional garden beds, container plants have limited soil, which means regular feeding and soil maintenance are essential for long-term success. This week I focused on providing the garden with the nutrients it needs for the next stage of growth. By combining water and soluble fertilizer with organic soil amendments, I'm working to support both immediate plant needs and long-term soil health. Healthy roots lead to healthy plants, and healthy plants lead to bigger harvests. The tomatoes continue to climb higher through their cages and supports, creating an impressive wall of green growth along the balcony. The pepper plants are rewarding with their care with beautiful blossoms and developing peppers, while onions and herbs continue filling the spaces beneath the larger crops. Everywhere you look, the garden is becoming fuller, stronger, and more productive. One of the most exciting parts of gardening is watching small daily efforts turn into visible progress over time. A little watering, a little feeding, and a lot of patience can create something truly remarkable. Week by week, the Sky Garden is proving that even a small balcony can produce an abundance of fresh food when given the right care. So let's take a look at everything that's happened during week 7. See how the feeding program was implemented, check on progress of the tomatoes, peppers, lettuce, onions, and herbs, and get a glimpse of what's coming as we move closer to harvest season. This is Sky Garden 2026, week 7. So to start this week, I wanted to talk to you about the differences that I've implemented from last year to this year, and we're watching to see how it goes. First off, I use the potting mix that says it has 3 months worth of nutrients in the soil itself. So I didn't fertilize last year until the middle to end of August because I figured it had 3 months worth of stuff. Anyway, so this year I'm going to try something a little different. I still use the 3-month potting mix, but now I have a water-soluble fertilizer from Miracle Grow. So what I'm doing is I'm adding it at about half the strength of what the box recommends because there's supposed to be 3 months worth of nutrients in the soil and I don't want to over fertilize. So I'm just doing half strength and following the rest of the directions on the box, which is every 2 to 4 weeks. So yeah, so you just mix 2 of the scoops that come in the box in with a 5-gallon bucket of water and water your plants every 2 weeks. Another change I'm making this year is in my taller crops. I'm planting some cover crops in the bottom. So for instance, lettuce, radishes, carrots, things that'll kind of shade the top of the dirt a bit. So it serves two purposes. One, you got more food, doubles my production space. And two, you don't need to use mulch if you have a cover crop. So yeah, two birds. And the last change I made this year is I added 5 new pots against the kitchen window. Problem with that is it's very difficult to walk down between the pots now. So yeah, especially when they start to fill out a little bit more. The other problem is they get less sunlight because they're in the shade once the sun gets up to high in the sky. And yeah, so there it is. Next up is the garden tour. Then I got a little surprise for you at the end. Welcome to Sky Garden Week 7 Garden Tour. Coming along very nicely this week. Lots of things happening. We got our chive plant, which is 5 years old, as you know. Then we have our bell pepper plant. There's no crop in the bottom there because it's so close to the chive plant. It would probably shade it out once it gets a little bigger. Here's another bell pepper plant with some leaf lettuce in the bottom. That's a good cover crop. Then we have our cubanellas, a couple of peppers on there, green onions in the bottom. Our basil plant, which is getting really tall, so I'm gonna cut some of that down a bit. And making a pizza in a couple of days, so I'm gonna put some basil on the pizza. We have our little straggly parsley plant, which isn't doing very well, but it's there. Then we have our another cubanella with some green onions in the bottom. Oh, excuse me. I also have, so I planted some lettuce in there, but it didn't sprout, didn't germinate, so I'm not sure if I planted it too deep or maybe I didn't water it well enough. Next up, we have our Sweet Million cherry tomatoes, which is getting to the top of the tomato cage already. A lot of flowers on there. Even some little tiny tomatoes on there too. You can see those, hard to see down there. But there they are. Then we have our slicing tomato. Oh yeah, I forgot, I put some carrots in the bottom of this one. They're just starting to sprout. Okay, so then our slicing tomato here. No tomatoes yet, but lots of flowers. All kinds of flowers. Again, it's way past the tomato cage. Then we have another Sweet Million cherry tomato. Lots of tomatoes on there, you can see. It's way past the cage, so we're gonna have to lower that one soon. Now the bottom of that one, I put some leaf lettuce. It has not germinated yet. I have to keep that moist and hopefully they will germinate. Then we have the first of our Roma tomatoes. Lots of flowers. No baby little tomatoes yet, but lots of flowers. Next up, cucumbers. Now I got a little worried there about the cucumbers because they have this wilt. They wilt overnight when the sun goes in. So I thought, uh-oh, they're toast. But they were not. They come back every morning, just like clockwork. Now next up we have another Roma tomato. Again, lots of flowers down there. So that's good. Let me just squeeze by here. Holy smokes. I'm not going to be able to get in here once things start growing better. And another Roma tomato. All kinds of flowers on this one. Had some bees hanging around, which is nice. Way up here, they find the flowers. They're pretty good at that, I guess. Then we have our Scotch bonnet hot peppers. A few flowers going on there, but no little peppers yet. Down in the bottom there, we have some radishes. Now they grow so fast, you can see a difference every day. They get a little bigger. Then next up, we have our jalapenos. You can see a lot of flowers on there too. No little peppers yet. Oh, there might be one right there. Oh, there's one. Right, can I get it in there? Can't really see it, it's too small. Next week you'll be able to see that. And then some radishes down the bottom. Another jalapeno plant. Lots of flowers and buds on there. Down the bottom, more radishes. I love a little bit of radishes in my salad. Now we have our yellow beans. If you can see, let me just see if I can get in there. There you go, you got a little bean right there. Another little teeny one right here. So there are some beans happening in there. Now on the back side here, by the window, these are kind of in the shade a bit, so they don't get as much sun as the other ones. We have bunching onions. Then I planted some spinach. They didn't all germinate, but I got 3 going there, so that's okay. I planted some more to see if they would germinate. And here, there's 2 in this pot. And I planted again some more in there. So see if they germinate. Sorry, I'm kind of shaking around here a little bit, but it's very little space here. Here's another sweet pepper plant. I planted some lettuce down in the bottom of that. So we'll see if they germinate. I just planted that yesterday. Here's another Roma style tomato. It's not a Roma, but it's a Roma style. I put some lettuce down in the bottom there too. So I'm gonna have to trim the bottom leaves off of that. See what happens there. Anyways, that's Sky Garden, week 7. Coming right along. Cloudy day today. The Weather Network said it was supposed to rain, but it did not rain. You can hear the bird chirping over there maybe. It's a little sparrow. Way over there. Can I zoom in? Oh wait. There he is. Just sitting up there. Anyway, week 7, Sky Garden tour. Oh, I gotta get out of here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get in and out of here once these cucumbers get going, because we got the cucumbers right there and the tomatoes right there. Very little space to get down there. Anyway, there you go. Managed to get this video done while the lawn care people were on the other side of the building. Monday's not a good day for this because lawn care guys come and they got their leaf blowers and lawn mowers and everything going. Anyway, talk to you later. Okay, well, just for a little fun thing to do, I thought I'd run my Sky Garden video for this week through ChatGPT and get its interpretation of the Sky Garden. I wish for entertainment purposes only. Welcome to ChatGPT's interpretation of 2026 Sky Garden on week 7. The garden is showing tremendous progress as every container continues to fill with healthy growth. Tomatoes are climbing higher each week. Peppers are producing flowers and developing fruit. Lettuce is becoming dense and harvest ready. The herbs and onions are thriving alongside the larger crops. The balcony is quickly transforming into a productive urban vegetable garden. This week focuses on feeding the garden. To support the next stage of growth, I am using a water-soluble fertilizer designed for tomatoes, fruits, and vegetables, along with a premium organic soil amendment. The goal is to provide both immediate available nutrients and long-term soil improvement to keep the plants growing strong and healthy. The organic amendments will improve soil structure, moisture retention, and microbial activity inside the containers. Container gardens rely heavily on consistent nutrient management because the roots have limited space. Adding fresh organic material helps replenish nutrients that have been used up by the rapidly growing plants. Before feeding begins, all watering equipment and mixing supplies are gathered together. Having everything organized makes it easier to prepare a consistent nutrient solution for every container. Consistency is important because each plant needs a balanced feeding to maintain steady growth. The fertilizer is thoroughly dissolved in water to create a nutrient-rich solution. Proper mixing ensures that the nutrients are evenly distributed throughout the water. This allows each plant to receive the same balanced feeding and helps prevent uneven growth throughout the garden. The prepared nutrient solution is transferred into watering containers and distributed throughout the garden. Having multiple watering containers ready allows the feeding process to move efficiently while ensuring every container receives the nutrients it needs. The nutrient solution is applied directly to the soil around each plant. Feeding at the root zone allows nutrients to be absorbed quickly and efficiently. The moist soil helps carry those nutrients deeper into the container, where the root system can access them and support continued growth. The lettuce has responded extremely well to the growing conditions. The plants have developed thick clusters of leaves and now fill the containers. Healthy color, strong leaf formation, and dense growth indicate that the plants are receiving adequate water and nutrition. Many of the lettuce leaves are now approaching harvest size. The outer leaves can be harvested while allowing the centers to continue producing fresh growth. This method provides multiple harvests from the same plant and extends the overall productivity of the container. The pepper plants are entering an exciting stage of development. Numerous flowers are appearing throughout the plants, signaling that fruit production is well underway. Strong stems and healthy foliage provide a solid foundation for supporting future peppers as they develop and mature. Small peppers are already beginning to form beneath the blossoms. These early fruits are an encouraging sign that the pollination has been successful. Over the coming weeks, these peppers will continue to enlarge and eventually reach harvest size. The pepper containers are making excellent use of available space. Companion onions grow beneath the peppers, while the taller plants occupy the upper portion of the container. This combination allows multiple crops to thrive together while maximizing production of each bucket. The onions continue to establish themselves beneath the pepper plants. Their upright green leaves are growing steadily and helping fill unused space within the container. Companion planting like this increases the efficiency while maintaining healthy growth for both crops. The tomato section remains one of the most impressive areas of the garden. Multiple containers are now filled with vigorous plants that continue to gain size each week. The support systems are becoming increasingly important as the plants expand and prepare for heavier fruit loads. The tomato plants are showing strong vertical growth. New stems and leaves continue to develop while the plants stretch upward through their support structures. Consistent watering and feeding are helping drive this rapid expansion. Clusters of bright yellow blossoms are appearing throughout the tomato plants. These flowers represent the next stage of production and will eventually become tomatoes. Every new cluster increases the potential harvest that the garden can produce later in the season. The cages and stakes are helping guide the tomatoes upward while maintaining good structure throughout the plants. Proper support reduces stress on the stems, improves airflow, and keeps developing fruit elevated and accessible as the season progresses. One of the biggest changes this week is how full the balcony garden has become. Areas that once contained small seedlings are now packed with mature foliage. The containers are beginning to merge visually into a continuous canopy of green growth. The garden is developing into a balanced ecosystem where multiple crops grow together successfully. Tomatoes, peppers, lettuce, onions, and herbs each occupy their own space while contributing to the overall productivity of the garden. Healthy growth across all containers is a sign that growing environment is working well. The organized bucket system continues to demonstrate how productive container gardening can be. Despite limited space, the balcony is producing a wide variety of vegetables and herbs. Careful planting, consistent maintenance, and regular feeding are helping transform this small area into a thriving food-producing garden. The garden is clearly transitioning from establishment into production. Flowers are becoming fruit, leafy crops are approaching harvest, and vigorous growth continues throughout the containers. The coming weeks should bring even more exciting developments as the first major harvest moves closer. Week 7 concludes with garden looking healthier and more productive than ever. Mature lettuce fills the containers, peppers are flowering and producing fruit, tomatoes are climbing steadily through their supports, and the onions and herbs continue to thrive beneath the canopy. The feeding program introduced this week will help to fuel the next stage of growth as Sky Garden 2026 moves closer to a season filled with fresh harvests. Every week brings new progress, and the future of the garden has never looked brighter. Okay, so that was ChatGPT's version of what I showed it from the Sky Garden, and it looks like a dream garden to me. Anyway, thought I'd just stick that in there, see what you think. As we wrap up week 7 of Sky Garden 2026, it's incredible to look back and see just how much progress the garden has made in a relatively short amount of time. This week was all about investing in the future of the garden by providing additional nutrients through both water-soluble fertilizer and organic soil amendments. We're helping ensure that the plants have the resources they need as they move into the most important stage of growth. Healthy roots, healthy soil, and consistent care create the foundation for successful harvests later on. The lettuce is thriving and nearly ready to provide fresh salads straight from the balcony. The pepper plants are flowering and producing their first peppers. The tomato plants continue climbing higher through their support system and are beginning to develop the flower clusters that will soon become the tomatoes we've been waiting for. Even the onions, herbs are contributing to the overall productivity of the garden. One of the things I enjoy most about this project is seeing how a small urban space can be transformed into a productive vegetable garden. Many people believe they need a large backyard to grow food, but Sky Garden continues to demonstrate that a balcony, a few containers, quality soil, and consistent care can produce impressive results. Gardening teaches patience in a world that often expects instant results. Every seed, every transplant, every watering, and every feeding contributes to a larger goal. Some days the changes seem small, but when you step back and compare where the garden started to where it is now, the progress becomes impossible to ignore. As we move into week 8, the focus will remain on maintaining consistent moisture levels, monitoring plant health, supporting continued flowering and fruit development, and preparing for the first significant harvests of the season. The plants are entering one of the most exciting of periods, and I can't wait to see what the next weeks bring. Thank you for following along with this journey and for being part of the Sky Garden 2026. Whether you're gardening on a balcony, a patio, a backyard, or simply enjoying the process from home, I hope these updates inspire you to grow something of your own. If you're enjoying the series, please consider liking the video, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss future updates. Your support helps the channel grow and allows me to continue documenting the progress of the garden throughout the season. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep enjoying the process. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in week 8 of Sky Garden 2026. Happy gardening!